What's up, my peoples on the inner tubes? This is episode 5 of Studio Practice, your internet resource for a no bullshit take on what happens in the artist and designer studio. I'm going to attempt to provide you with a principle-based approach to making work in the studio. What are principles? Principles are fundamental ideas that can guide you when you're confused. Principle number 1. A teacher's authority flows directly from their work. That's gonna leave a mark. That's gotta hurt. I want you to think about that. Think very carefully about that. A teacher's authority flows directly from their work.
Teach only what you know, bro. And if it's clear you don't know, then you gots to go.
Scrutinize the work of your teachers. It's an inconvenient truth. Look, when I encourage you to scrutinize a teacher's work, I'm talking about this work, not this work. I would encourage you, before you listen any further, to go to my website.
What you know about me? What you know?
Scrutinize my work. If you find no evidence of high-level thinking, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Principle number 2. Evidence of intelligence is found directly in the work. Art and design objects are ideas manifest in material. Today we're going to deal with a few suggestions to help move your work into a more contemporary conceptual space. Bear with me, don't let me lose you. I first have to give you a little bit of heavy background. I promise I will get to concrete suggestions. Just stick with me for about a minute. So much emphasis is placed in our culture on precisely the things that the artist or the designer says about their work rather than the object itself. Look for evidence of intelligence in the object. I've known a number of artists and designers who quite frankly couldn't formulate an English sentence, but their work itself was brilliant. Here we see a painting of mine from 2011. Formalism, contrary to popular opinion, is a category of aesthetic philosophy. It is not a value judgment. For some nearly incomprehensible reason in 2016, when you refer to a work as being formal, immediately the artist or designer assumes that you're saying something negative about the work. I would never characterize my work or this piece in particular as formalist. As a matter of fact, I think it's far more productive to attempt to understand this work through a cognitive expressionist lens. What does this mean? It means that artwork represents a specific and unique type of knowledge of the world. So in this image, as an example, can this work endure, and more importantly, can it reward a sustained cognitive process? In other words, when the uninitiated viewer contends with the work, do they think good? To investigate some of these ideas further, look to the work of Leo Tolstoy, Benedetto Croce, Collingwood, or Arthur Danto for more information. So what has all of this got to do with providing you with concrete suggestions for moving your work to a more contemporary conceptual space? You see the big white frame in this image? Many traditional notions of art bracket off those things outside of that frame. In many systems of interpretation, we bracket off everything outside of that frame and we close read the object itself. So here's my suggestion for helping to move your work into a more contemporary conceptual space. I want you to consider the narrative possibilities outside of the frame of the work, all of those things that precede the work, the storytelling capacity of the conditions that exist before you make the work. And the way that I'm going to explain this is by referencing the work of one of my favorite youngish artists, Lee Ledare. Lee Ledare is an artist and photographer who was born in 1976. Ledare first gained recognition through his exhibition and artist book titled Pretend You're Actually Alive. This piece explores the complex relations between the artist and his mother, specifically how she uses eroticism and intimacy to maintain the balance of power within their family. Many of these photographs involve graphic sexual depictions that I would encourage you to research on your own. Here's the larger point I'm trying to get at. Are Lee's photographs beautiful? Undeniably. But, and I cannot stress this enough, the power of Lee's work and these photographs lie not in the objects themselves, but in the social relationships around the object. Lee's work raises a host of complex problems. The action in Lee's work happens outside of the pictorial frame. Remember this from earlier in our episode? Work must be able to endure and reward a sustained cognitive process. So in order to help move your work into a more contemporary conceptual space, I'm going to suggest that you begin not with the discrete object. Come on, ask yourself this simple question. How compelling is the story of my object's creation? In Lee's work, as an example, you find a ridiculously compelling story surrounding the creation of the objects. So not with those things that lie within the pictorial frame or that concern a sculptural object itself, but rather I'm going to suggest that you begin with the narrative, the storytelling possibilities of those things that precede the object, your strategy to make the thing. Okay, this is but one suggestion. There are many ways to skin the cat. Okay, let's recap some of the primary principles. Number one, the authority of the teacher flows directly from their work. As difficult as this is to say, scrutinize the work of your teachers, and I am not talking about what they say. Number two, work must be able to endure and reward a sustained cognitive process. When we're in the presence of a work, what is the quality and the character of our thinking? Number three, evidence of intelligence is found directly in work. Trust the object, man, before you trust the language. And here is this episode's suggestion for helping you move your work to a more contemporary conceptual space. Begin not with the object image, begin with a compelling strategy. Ask yourself this simple question: is the story behind the creation of my object or image compelling?
What you know about?
Okay, well, I received 2 comments from the last episode, so thanks, both of which from Benjamin Shinobi, aka Shinobi1 Kenobi, aka Big Benny Ben, aka Buns of Steel, aka Benjamin Santiago. Benjamin wanted me to remind you to smash the like button if you enjoyed what you've seen. Benjamin also asked me to address the issue of how to balance work with family. Don't worry, if you're a 20-something hipster gooseneck flaneur with absolutely no interest in ever having a family, I'm gonna keep it brief. Look, it's really simple as I see it. You gotta borrow a concept from the US Marine Corps. Semper Fi, always faithful. These are my people, they come first, and hell will freeze over before I let them down. All right, all my peoples from the inner tubes, let's get this shit started. Leave me some comments, questions, points for discussion. Follow me on Instagram right here. And my limited edition prints and objects are available on minislimited.com. I try to release at least one limited edition print or object per month. For January 2016, I'm releasing 2 22 by 30 inch prints, one in black, one in fluorescent pink. Each print is in an edition of 10. They're on heavyweight 100% cotton paper, signed and numbered. Okay, this episode is officially over, but we're about to enter the bonus round. The bonus round is for those of you with stamina. After I posted last week's episode to YouTube, I posted this segment to my Instagram account. To my surprise, I received a near immediate response on Instagram from Maya Kawabata, who hit me back with this. And Joshua Ray Stevens with this. So for next episode, I'm working on a mix of these contributions.
But in reality, you just a slave who does behave that fuzzy haze you call your mind is really all the ways they find and keep you wrapped up.